6 defensive backs for the Broncos. Pocket collapsing. Lawrence in trouble. Down he goes again. John Franklin Myers got there.
Just a heck of a run by that organization.
And the handoff to Jaleel McLaughlin. And McLaughlin breaking into the secondary and just caught at the 30-yard line.
They study how to punch from MMA fighters and boxers to make sure they can make contact on the football.
Here's McLaughlin again, and an ankle tackle from Eric Armstead after a 9-yard gain. So from the 39, play action for Nix. He'll step up to the sideline, finding Cortland Sutton, who's able to toe tap as he falls out of bounds, and a first down in Jacksonville territory.
That spot where you feel comfortable being able to overturn that.
Little tempo now for Denver to the sideline for Sutton. He was one-on-one with Greg Newsome, and he just turned, makes the catch.
In that fourth quarter against Green Bay late with 5:04 to go, a 4th and 3, a 4th and 1, just over a minute to go in the game.
Here's Nix, the swing to Mims on the sideline, well defended by the Jaguars. High snap is pulled down. Lutz's kick, aiming for the crossbar. We get a doink, and it's no good. 3rd and 9. With time, Lawrence looking for help. Lawrence will throw on the run, and he fits it into Parker Washington. And a first down to the Denver 44. 3rd down and 10. Play clock winding down. Just gets the snap. Flags are down, and Lawrence gets blasted, and another flag. P.J. Locke did not hear the whistle with the stoppage in play, and another flag drops as he blasts into Lawrence.
Everything will be available to me as quarterback.
Both teams on the play. False start by the offense, number 80. The team stopped, and there was a personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the defense, number 6. By rule, just the 15-yard penalty will be enforced in the previous spot. It's first down.
2nd and 6, off the play fake. Lawrence with pressure coming. Eludes the rush. Now Lawrence on the run, and he dives across the 20 to the 18. Oh, DJ Jones had him dead to rights, Darrell, and he just couldn't wrap him up. 3rd and 3. Lawrence floating for the end zone. Washington with the catch. He had Jaquan McMillan draped all over him and somehow secures it for 6.
Into the chemistry they've built. Watch this. Watch the trust he has in Parker Washington. You tell me if that is not tight coverage and a ball dropped in probably the only place that it's going to be completed. That is excellent coverage by Jaquan McMillan.
Mims the motion man. Fake the give to Mims, and Nix will throw. Floats it open. He's got his man Evan Ingram, and the former Jaguar rumbling down the sidelines and out of bounds. The Broncos trying to answer that Jaguar touchdown with one of their own. We start the second quarter, and Nix on the keep with a blocker in front. Nix, a little stutter stepping out of bounds at the 20-yard line. He picks up 12 and a first down. So, on 3rd and 5, Nix looking that direction for the end zone, drops it in to Cortland Sutton. It's a touchdown for Denver.
It's just hard to defend. There he is coming out of that slot area in the middle. Jordan Lewis playing inside leverage. He's got no outside help, and you're running a fade to that back pylon. That's like stealing. And Bo Nix.
Pressure up the middle. Lawrence is in trouble. Down he goes. Malcolm Roach. 3rd sack of the day for the Broncos. Sack number 61 on the season.
The ability to find ways to win tight games, especially against quality opponents, is something very special for a team, and this team is really, really good at it.
On first down, Nix will throw. Mims over the middle at midfield. And Mims into Jacksonville territory at the 42. Nix. 3rd and 2. It's Harvey, swallowed up in the backfield. Trayvon Walker. 3 of 5 from 50-plus this year. Good snap and hold, and a line drive kick. Walker Little has moved over from left tackle to right guard, and Cole Van Lannen's in at left tackle with the injury to Patrick McCary. On second down, Lawrence to the sideline, yanked down by Brian Thomas. First down and 10 from the 49. Off the play fake. Lawrence looking, floats it out. It's his tight end, Strange, to the 26, his third catch of the afternoon. This one for 23. And Parker Washington today, the pitch to Etienne on the edge, breaks a tackle, now weaving into space. Etienne, an ankle tackle, saves the touchdown at the 3. Lawrence looking for Strange to the end zone, diving catch, touchdown Jacksonville.
This is just an angle route going to the outside. PJ Locke, number 6, is in coverage. It's inside coverage. Look at the location by Trevor Lawrence. That ball was thrown to him.
Four-man rush. Nix will throw. Out of the backfield, it's Harvey. A first down and more as Devin Lloyd shoves him out shy of midfield. Nix on the roll. Looking downfield, throwing, and he cannot connect with Pat Bryant, twisting on that far sideline rather, and it's 4th and 4.
Just the complete opposite here over the last 6-7 weeks.
2nd and 6. Lawrence in a clean pocket over the middle. There's Jacoby Myers, his first catch of the afternoon, and a big one out across the 40, a pickup of 25 to the 42. Before the 2nd and 10 snap, Lawrence over the middle, diving grab by Jacoby Myers.
You in the 2-minute situation where a run could break, but I would expect them to be more aggressive in this scenario.
Pressure coming. Lawrence throws to the sideline. Catch is made by Brian Thomas, and Thomas does get out of bounds with a first down. PJ Locke with the tackle. Lawrence, backside pressure. Down the sideline. He throws that one away. Good snap, good hold, and a good kick by Little to give Jacksonville a 17-10 lead on the road at halftime in Denver.
0 hits, 0 sacks by that Jacksonville defense.
Back under center goes Bo Nix, and on the roll on 2nd and 5, he throws. Catch made, big hit on Lil Jordan Humphrey from Antonio Johnson, and a flag is down.
And these guys are calling it in real speed, and they are right the majority of the time.
Handoff Harvey, and now a big run up the middle, breaking tackles, and R.J. Harvey on the move, down the sideline, Harvey diving for the pylon, touchdown Broncos.
By R.J. Harvey, this is just all him. Watch 42 come in from the right of the screen. There he is, Andrew Wingard right there. Poor angle coming up, and he spins out of that, and now it's a sprint to the pylon. You're trying to punch out. There's another thing. In a takeaway culture, trying to force the turnover instead of getting the runner out of bounds or to the ground and preventing on the footwork of the quarterback and where you're supposed to go. So that was one of the big emphasis in the offseason, was to get his feet tied into his eyes.
He'll keep it on 3rd and 1, and he'll dive for the first down to the 40-yard line. Lawrence to the sideline. He's got Washington, a first down and more for Jacksonville. Lawrence, clean pocket, checks it short. Tim Patrick, and Patrick down near the 13-yard line. 1st and goal. Lawrence will keep. Lawrence will walk in, and the Jaguars lead once more.
This is just too easy. You're down to take on the puller, but there's nobody there. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Another coach's son out there that understands a lot of the detail.
Nix under pressure, steps up and finds R.J. Harvey. Harvey breaking another tackle out to midfield. Just a 3-man rush. Nix with time. Has to go short, and he throws it over the head of Tyler Bidet. 3rd and 3. 4-man Denver rush. It's Washington. First down and more. Parker Washington on the run. Inside the 25. Veering around Singleton. Weaving to the 10. Jaguars with the big play, 63 yards, and it's first down Jacksonville. And now first and goal at the 10. ETN out of the backfield. On the edge, the cutback, the broken tackle, the touchdown for Jacksonville.
Gives you the outflank to Travis Etienne, and now he's going to do the same thing that Parker Washington did. Over pursuit, I'm going back inside. But that was all set up. You moved Jahdae Barron inside, and now he's in a foot race. He's going to over pursue from that situation. It's going to be a very hard tackle, and at that time he can get sped up a little bit with his progression.
First quarterback hit on Nix this game, 3rd and 6. Late pressure comes, but he finds Pat Bryant, and Bryant with a first down.
He's got that unique ability to get out and do some off-schedule stuff, but boy, is he really good when he stays in that pocket.
Now 2nd and 4, and a fumbled exchange, and the Jaguars take it. Emmanuel Ogba jumping on the football on the missed exchange between Nix and McLaughlin. Trevor Lawrence 4 for 4 for 116 yards on 3rd down. Broncos bring the heat. It's Washington again. Breaks away from contact. Washington out of bounds at the 5. Riley Moss was right there. He couldn't wrap him up. Lawrence, pressure up the middle, throws to the end zone, batted away. Riley Moss spiked it out of the hands of Jacoby Myers. Roach had the heat up the middle. The defense holds to the field goal try. The Jaguars convert for 3. And now 34-17, the lead for Jacksonville. 13. On first down off the play fake. Nix sets up, and he's looking deep. Wants Franklin. Drops it in. Franklin with a catch. First and goal, Denver at the Jaguar 9. Prentice in motion. Nix looking, scrambling, throws off the fingertips of Cortland Sutton in the back of the end zone, and it's 4th and goal. And there's 3 of the 17 they need to come back in this one. The stadium is shaking. 3rd and 10, Lawrence under pressure. Lawrence will go down.
7.
Off the play fake on first down. He'll check it to Harvey up the sideline. Harvey with some room. Harvey gets a block upfield and into Jacksonville territory on one play. 4-man pressure. Nix pressured late, checks to Harvey once more, and Harvey trying to bowl over Jordan Lewis, who brings him down after an 8-yard gain. On 4th and 2. Nix to the sideline, intercepted! Jarian Jones with his 2nd pick of the year. LaQuint Allen in the backfield. Lawrence under pressure, steps away. Lawrence up the sideline, gonna tuck it. Trying for the first down, lunging forward, he's got it. 3rd down, Lawrence incomplete. Wanted ETN. 3rd down and 7. Just 3 for 11 on 3rd down today. Nix over the middle, catch, first down at the 35. Nix, pressure comes. Steps away, throwing on the run, going up to get it is Sutton in Jaguars territory at the 45 and a first down. Nix dodging pressure, escapes to his right. And he'll just float this one out of bounds and threw it away. Chased by B.J. Green, but more importantly, nobody open to throw it to downfield, and it's 4th and 3.
He's the 2nd guy outside on that left side.
4th and long. Nix looking deep, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. The Jaguars defense turns Denver away with 2:12 to play in the 4th. They've had a few this year. This one would stand as the biggest, as ETN bouncing off contact, gets to the edge, and ETN diving down inbounds for the first down. It'll stop the clock with the 2-minute warning, but they get a first down, they can kneel it out. ETN will try to do just that, but Denver says no. Broncos will use their final timeout with 1:44 to play in the fourth.
The ball bounces your way, you find a way to pull out games at the last second. Maybe the Denver Broncos needed to get punched in the mouth before they went into the playoffs. And it's going to be great to see what their response is and how they bounce back. Maybe that folds that up a little bit, and they can't bounce back from it. Not this group, not the way that this group is being built by Liam Cohen.
Nix will throw on the run, over the middle and a big stick. Pat Bryant with the catch, Monteric Brown with a hit, and there's a flag. Jacksonville cannot clinch a playoff spot today. They'll wait to see what happens with the Colts tomorrow. This is Tyler Bidet out of the backfield, and so a sour way to end what was a high-tension, important, and impactful game here in Denver.